tonight that he should still be within that top 5.
Huskers in black and red, and UNC in their white away singlets. Going to use the first couple seconds or so to feel out the match. Taylor wrestling from that signature one-knee stance.
Yeah, Taylor's always been great at that one-knee stance, but Root seems to try to combat this by posting up on the head.
We saw against Army, Joey Antonio tried to match Taylor with that one-leg stance as Root gets in and out of a shot there, and it seemed to work a little bit, only lost to Taylor 5-1.
It's going to be really hard to get a single leg in on Antrell Taylor, as athletic as he is, and also his base strength is just so strong.
Laird Root, nothing to scoff at, though, only a redshirt freshman, and he's competing at the high end of Division I. He's got the team-leading tech fall count with 3 of them for UNC so far this season. He's a guy that can score a lot of points real quickly.
Yeah, this is going to be a great test for Root and for Cole to see exactly what his redshirt freshman is capable of.
Slide by Root, doesn't go anywhere. A little more action from Root so far than Taylor. Shot there by Taylor, stuffed.
You can see that Trelli is trying to feel out Root a little more with those collar ties and some hooks here and there.
Something Antrell Taylor does well is that shot fake we saw. It's another slide-by attempt from Root. Seem to be the bread and butter. Is those shot fakes, getting the opponent to step. That's kind of how Antrell Taylor wrestles his first periods as of late. Feeling out the opposition, seeing what he's going to get off the shot fake and off the elbows. Kind of setting a trap. Shot there from Taylor. He's countered by Root.
Trelli did a great job of faking that shot, but Root just came down on the shot, stuffing it and sprawling out, almost getting the takedown, but Trelli is just quick to his feet.
Was interested to see what happened from the over-under sequence there, but no throws were tossed in there.
I mean, what makes Trelli so good is his constant level changes. He is quick to his feet, he wrestles from the knee, but he's also willing to post up on your heads and go and grab a couple hooks.
Double shot from both of them. Taylor gets around with his arm, but really nothing going. 15 seconds left. Slide in, gets the body lock, trip. 3 for Antrell Taylor at the end of the period. Beautiful action that.
And that just speaks to the veteran experience of Antrell Taylor. He is willing to wait out the entire period and then pounce on you as time expires.
Something seen in the Army duel last time they were in the Bob was points at the end of the period. We saw it with Brock Hardy, and we saw it with Silas Allred, wearing them down for the entire first period, second period, and then scoring late on. Taylor starts on bottom, claw ride from Root. Big return. Taylor does well to stay on his feet. And if you can stay on your feet during a return, it's not only a matter of time before you're out and you got your one. 4-0 Taylor, 1:40 to go in the second.
Kind of an interesting choice to go with a claw ride in the referee's position against Taylor, as he is just so unwilling to leave the ground. He is so great at defending himself against those returns.
Antrell Taylor, a guy you often see doing the returning, not getting return. Root. I've liked the action I've seen out of Root so far. He's taking shots to Antrell. He's given him a little something to work with. I think this is still a very, very even match so far, besides the action at the end of the first period.
I mean, it's just the veteran experience of Antrell Taylor versus the redshirt freshman of Root. Root is hanging in with Antrell Taylor very well. It's just that Antrell is so experienced and he knows what to expect in these matchups.
We almost saw that same look from Taylor there as he tried to get around the outside, and he'll be pushed nearly off the counter and into the sink. But they'll return to the middle with 41 seconds left. You know, there's a lot of contention about Antrell Taylor's victory at Nationals last year, with Kasich going down to Blaze earlier on in the tournament. Low single from Taylor gets in, using his head as a third arm. He'll roll through. And there's three for, oh.
Not quite.
Great defense there from Root. And there's the three for Antrell Taylor.
Again, Antrell Taylor just sticking his leg right between him, tripping him up on the same exact takedown.
And at the same point in the period, 7-0. He's en route to a major decision. Now, and I was saying with last year, you know, there's been a lot of media coverage saying, well, Antrell this, Antrell that. He didn't wrestle Penn State at the national tournament. I think Antrell Taylor, you're never going to take away from the fact that he's a champion. But I think I would imagine there's a fire lit under him by some of the media he sees.
Absolutely. It's out of his control to be able to face who he faces in that national duel. But at the same time, I know that wrestlers take everything personally.
Well, you have to. I mean, when it's 1 versus 1 on the mat, escape for Root. Didn't take too much time on that one. But this is one of those matchups where the experience gap, it's going to go both ways in this duel. At 125 and 165, Nebraska has freshmen and UNC has grad students. And at 141 and 157, for example, Nebraska has a senior and a junior against 2 redshirt freshmen. So we're going to see across the board this difference in age and experience at the collegiate level that may be the difference in regular decisions, major decisions, and tech falls. Deep shot from Root.
Yeah, and speaking on that, you see a lot of strength coming from Rob Cole in the third year of his rebuild at UNC. He's proven at the Ivy League level with 20 Ivy League titles himself.
Root getting frustrated. Antrell's leg being extended for almost 30 seconds there, and he'll finally get it back to himself. He will take the stall call. It's the second time he's gone off the mat in that direction, but I don't think he'll be too bothered by that. Shot from Taylor. And there's the major decision. Takedown Antrell.
And I just love what Antrell does. As soon as he gets a takedown, he tries to immediately secure the wrist to make sure that he still applies that pressure forward.
Big short time here to keep it at an 8-point gap. No, he wants more. That's another takedown for Antrell Taylor. That'll take us to the end. Number 6, Antrell Taylor, 13-2, major decision to start the Huskers off with a 4-point lead in this duel.
Yeah, especially now in the Big Ten. You see Ohio State emerging this year, but here comes Hepner looking for opportunity at UNC.
Across the stripe, arguably the wrestler for Nebraska. Quick shot off the rip for Araju, straight into high center. The wrestler for the Huskers that has arguably been wrestling the best as of late, with 2 top 25 wins against Brown and Missouri, and then that vintage win over Brignola of Lehigh at national duels, where he pinned number 9 in the country. So it's like I'm looking at a rubber band ball right now.
That's a great way to describe LJ Araujo and his style of wrestling. The U20 world champ is masterful at getting his legs out of these kinds of situations, even as a redshirt freshman.
It's going to be a tough task for him, wrestling a grown man on the other side.
One thing you saw Araujo do as soon as it started, it was a near waterfall, but Bryce Hepner was just able to secure the ankle against Araujo, and there's no clear indicator of who can get a takedown first here.
Hepner counters and will climb up, and there's the potentially dangerous on Hepner. At this level, I mean, the wrestling's so tight. Once you get into that position, it's most of the time going to end up in a potentially dangerous or a reset to the center on a stalemate. But I like the instant action from Araju. Not really scared to go and get it. Tries to throw. Nothing there.
You know, the funny thing about the closeness and the tightness of the wrestling between these two is Araju actually published a piece on Huskers.com written by himself where he had said that he used to be claustrophobic as a kid. Said he would squirm at the thought of being hugged, but now look at him just getting arms and legs tangled up alongside Bryce Hepner.
Such an interesting article by Araju. Yes, he's not scared of the close situations anymore, and if he is, he hides it well.
I think it's hard to when you have fans in the stands cheering your name.
Yeah, you know, he's not trapped. He's surrounded by a lot of people. Raju, a 5-time North Dakota champ. Can do that in high school up in the Dakotas because they let 8th graders and 7th grade wrestle high schoolers.
That's true.
Counter by Raju. Hepner does well to step in between with the whizzer. Cradle from Hepner. Out of bounds as he looked to stick that, potentially put an LJ on his back.
Love the cradle attempt from Hepner there. Just a great response to LJ's near low single.
And I mean, a lot of the submission moves at this level, and the cradle especially, it's one where it's there or it's not. And Hepner did amazing there to realize it's here, let's go, and pull it over the back. And if he may have been in the center of the circle, that could have been bar.
Yeah, Rujo was doing a great job of competing in every single thing that he's been able to, and he has shown quite a bit. He collected some pretty impressive wins at the Hustle in the Heartland.
Hepner opts to stand Rujo up for the point, and he'll go straight into a takedown attempt. Raju fighting from his backside. He'll counter it, and crowd thought he had some, but Hepner was able to grab onto that heel. Into more reruns of the first period action. Standing on one leg. Yeah, looks kind of like a heel hook.
It did. It really did. He just looked like he was trying to get the shovel out of the ditch, trying to pull himself right out of it, but Hepner keeping a tight grip.
With how tight these scrambles have been as Araujo goes straight in. Great sit through. And he's almost left himself susceptible to that cradle again, but he's able to counter it. It feels like first takedown wins here. Oh my goodness, this is some brilliant scrambling.
I mean, Araujo just wrestles well beyond his years, and Hepner, a grad student transfer for UNC, is looking a little gassed here. Both of them do, matter of fact.
I mean, they've been rolling around like Beyblades the entire match. I mean, I would be tired too.
I mean, you're just in awe of how little they change level, and them going head-to-head here and trying to do some head-hands defense, applying that pressure on the hooks, eventually going into that collar tie. You're just in awe of the hand fighting as well.
Got their horns tied. "15 seconds to go, short time." Neither wrestler really seeming like they want to get into it with just 10 seconds to go. I don't think 10 seconds is enough for one of their scrambles.
No, this is going to be a 30-second scramble that ends in either 1 or 3 points.
End of the second period, Araujo leads 1-0. I mean, the technical prowess you have to have on both levels to constantly counter. I mean, wrestling's like a game of chess. You got to know your own moves 4 moves ahead and the other guy's 4 moves ahead, and they both did that brilliantly there.
I mean, how often are you going to see so many heel hooks in just one match?
They'll elect to stand on their feet Arajo holding a 1-point lead.
And just what a great stuff there from Arajo. Just not letting Hepner get an inch of space on him.
Trying to get up in between the legs is Hepner, but his head still down. Araju's counterattacking that far ankle. And there's the stalemate. Huskers fans not enjoying that call, but I don't know if there was anything in that one for Araju.
Yeah, head coach Mark Manning for the Huskers had his eyes as big as dinner plates after that call.
1 minute to go. Good test for Arajo. Deep shot, finds the back ankle. So does Hepner. Oh, that's a potentially dangerous. Seemed almost like Hepner was tapping.
Seems like he has something with his knee. He's in pain. The trainers will come out to assist Hepner here.
He did tug quite a bit. Oh, that's not the angle you want to see.
When you're trying to avoid those takedowns, you tend to have reckless abandon.
And I guess I can understand why Manning's upset, because Raju looked taped on for a takedown right there that would have sealed the match.
Yeah, as a coach, you're just looking out for your guys, and you want them to get that win as badly as they do.
But I mean, you can't blame him for not maybe being able to defend that when his leg is.
No, his leg looked like a bendy straw there, and that's never a great position, wrestler or anyone at all.
Do want to make sure that he's okay.
He does have that one knee taped up there. Looks like he's getting ready to go back out there, putting his headgear back on.
Araju, his first year starting this year, as Lenny Pinto went off to the East Coast to wrestle for Rutgers. And a round of applause from the Husker fans as Hepner returns to his feet. So Araju slots in at 65 as Minto steps up to 74. Rougeau and Hepner. .20, 30-minute scramble to the end.
The rest of this match just might be scrambling.
Shot from Hepner. Nothing going. Araju has a stall call to give if he wants to. 15 seconds. Shot from Hepner. Gonna try the step around. The outside trip. 2. It's not gonna be enough. LJ Araju survives a gritty matchup at 165. 2-0 as he wins his first match as a top 10 ranked wrestler.
Yeah, Araujo did a great job of applying the... Minto is such an interesting story for the Cornhuskers. He comes in last year as a redshirt freshman, ends up earning the starting job, and is able to go to the national duels and take 4th place in his first year qualifying.
Yep, he stepped into the Minnesota duel after Bubba Wilson went down at 165 pounds and had a memorable debut win over Andrew Sparks. Feeling each other out on the mat for the first 30 seconds. Minto didn't have the cleanest of national duels. He went 2-2. He took out number 11, Bo Montanona, but he fell to number 17, Facundo from Oklahoma State, and Krishala, number 9 from Ohio State. Early blips, which he promptly followed up with a Heartland Hustle double tech fall against Missouri and Brown.
I mean, just unbelievable wins for Minto there. But again, these are 2 young wrestlers that are still early in their careers and have plenty ahead of them. It's just that Minto has been able to get those opportunities while Kerrigan is finally getting his this season.
Kerrigan appeared in one duel for the Tar Heels last year against Virginia Tech, but obviously behind Ogunsanya. Didn't look like he was going to get any nods this year, at least without some extraneous circumstances. But you never like to see a wrestler of Ogunsanya's quality go down early in the season. But he will be back next year as he medically redshirts. Some slapping action that the ref doesn't like from Kerrigan. The last thing a wrestling coach on either side of the duel wants is a chippy match, because it puts both wrestlers at risk of making mistakes. Low single attempt there from Kerrigan.
At the high school level, they call that just simple hand fighting, or clubbing, as they might want to call it.
Minto holds a specific height advantage on a lot of the other wrestlers he faces, and when he gets into those over-under hooks, he's really hard to battle.
He just contains so much strength in that elbow that it's so hard to get him off of you, and he's relentless with his hand fighting.
Shot attempt from Minto countered.
Kerrigan did a great job of identifying the fake there for Minto.
Minto starting to get a little annoyed. I can tell on his face by the rogue hands from Kerrigan. With 15 seconds left, can he do like the two before him and get a late points? One before him, I should say. Great scramble at the end of the pyramid.
Yeah, I mean, you see Minto and Kerrigan are kind of mirroring each other here. They're both going for those low singles. They're both willing to scramble around, not willing to give up an inch of space. But you're going to be seeing a lot of this going into this second period here.
You know, as an objective observer, you look at, well, they're ranked 6th in the country. They're ranked 16th. Minto's 6th. Kerrigan's not ranked. Well, it's a lot closer than you might imagine. Minto will step out and walk away free for his point. Advantage Minto.
Yeah, and to kind of speak about those rankings, you see a lot of those rankings are kind of obsolete by January.
No.
Once you get into conference play, that's all you got.
One weekend can change everything. Counter by Minto. Near the edge, we'll see how he plays it. Almost looks like a cat. And he wraps up the legs for an edge takedown for Christopher Minto.
And that's a great job of securing the far knee and far ankle by Minto on Kerrigan, who's trying to get out of that as desperately as possible.
It's not an easy takedown to get. He's fully extended onto his belly, and he still manages to muscle his legs together.
Interesting claw ride here from Minto. Or trying to kind of turn it into a tight waist and get the return on Kerrigan. But Kerrigan doing a great job of hand fighting it.
Looks like Minto really not interested in wrestling on the bottom today. Four 1.
Again, the hooks from Minto are just so lethal. Incredibly strong on the hooks. His hand fighting is, I dare to say, elite.
Deep shot from Minto, that's 3.
And just getting that double where Kerrigan least expected.
Backside tight waist into a bar series. Minto could be looking for more here. He's got two options. He can either run the bar or he can tilt it here, but doesn't have time to do either. Ends the second period 7-1. Similar situation to where Antrell was in that first match at 157. Minto's experience showing in the second period with 2 takedowns. I wonder if he'll opt to ride or if he will. Tries the lift in return, but Kerrigan doesn't really want to go airborne.
I mean, one thing that Minto is particularly strong with is his return game. I believe that's why he wears his opponents down so easily, and he takes them to the edge, and as they try to escape, he is fully extended, and like you said, with that height advantage, it gives him such a unique advantage in getting takedowns at the edges.
Big return from Minto. He's closing in potentially on a riding time point, straight into the tilt off the return. That's a brilliant move from Chris Minto. He'll take that 4 count for the major decision as it stands, but there could be something more in the waters for Minto.
I mean, great display there for the back point. Minto doing what he does best.
I mean, he felt it out on the previous exchange from the second period. Well, he knows the tilt is there if he can get to it fast enough, and he hit it right off the return. That's great wrestling. On net, 12-1. He will let Kerrigan up. 11-2 with 45 seconds remaining. Shot by Kerrigan, quick counter from Minto. There's 3, that's 14-2. You gotta think he's smelling the tech fall here. He's got 24 seconds to go to work. Minto shot deep in. And there, it's something. He might get swipes here. There's the swipes. So he may not need the takedown after all. With the riding time point. Oh.
Unsportsmanlike there.
Minto wins 18-3. Collects 5 points and passes go.
It's the number 2 ranked 170 in his recruiting class. He is 2-2 on the year. I mean, he was a 2-time Colorado State champ as well, but he has a lot to prove here.
Ty Ice making his home dual debut in place of Silas Allred, number 9 in the country, and we can only speculate, but they may be saving him for Oklahoma State next week. Next 2 days, next Sunday.
Still next week. It is Friday.
Decides if you start your weeks on Sundays or Mondays. But the first home action taste for Ty Ice for these home Husker crowd. Early eye poke from Ty Ice.
I believe when I was re-watching the UNC versus West Virginia duel, I believe Jake Daly got in a similar situation where his contact fell out while wrestling.
Quick hand fighting exchange to start off the duel. Ty Ice went 2-2 at the Navy Classic. Wasn't able to bring any hardware home, but Navy Classic not an easy tournament to start your college career at. Looked like Daly had the advantage on top, and Ice makes that leg appear out of nowhere. And there's that stalemate call. hinting that this may be one closer to LJ versus Hepner than it is to the other two matchups.
If you're going to see one thing out of a Colt coach team and a Manning coach team, is that there's going to be plenty of scrambling to go around, especially from these heavier weights, as they're a little more athletic than you might be used to.
I mean, they know all about each other. Mark Manning coached Rob back at UNC when Mark Manning was assistant coach there in '89.
I mean, again, the wrestling world is interconnected and it is smaller than you think.
Both coaches have had very memorable careers, legendary careers, if you will. Both wrestlers work their way back to their feet. Ice finally gets his hand out.
You really love the front head pressure that Daly is putting on Ice here, as he's kind of showing the freshman, this is how you do it. If you're going to shoot on me, I'm going to apply all that pressure down low on you.
I don't know if you've ever taken your hand and run it across your skull, but that thing doesn't feel good. Yeah, it's pretty hard. And you slam that against your opponent a couple times. It might hurt a little bit for Daly, but I can tell you, Ice, it doesn't feel great. Another scramble there. I don't even know who's on top.
Again, it's this constant scrambling that you're seeing from both of these teams. They're so smart about the leg ride.
I mean, it's a prerequisite. If these wrestling gigs were on LinkedIn, one of those prereqs would be, can you scramble for more than 30 seconds with your opponent? And if you don't have that down, you're not going to be at the high end of college wrestling.
I mean, it used to be 4 years, a bachelor degree, and 10 more years of experience on top of that. Now it's 30 seconds of leg riding.
And we will conclude the first period of action between Tyler Ice and Jake Daly with zeros on the board. Daly's going to opt to go knees down first. And we get to see what Tyler Ice has in his bag of tricks on top.
I mean, this is just the smartest decision you can make when you're Jake Daly.
Grammy roll through from Daly, well executed, but well followed with the crab by Ice. See more and more wrestlers nowadays opting to go claw. Something certainly my coaches frowned upon at the high school level. I can't imagine what the college coaches think, whether they like it or not. Good shot fake from Ice.
I mean, we certainly see how animated Mark Manning is getting when he sees that. I mean, it is just a great decision there by Jake Daly to opt for starting on bottom just to be able to score some points here.
Great counter from Daly, able to get out from behind. And there he gets the 3 call. I imagine Mark, well, he can't challenge it now. Back points for Daly. Sorry, no, that was the takedown call. Couldn't quite tell.
It was a bit confusing on the roll-throughs there.
He's got a cradle look here. If that knee's down for just a second too long, they will call 3 no matter what you do after. Daly's going for it all here with the cradle. He's got Ice on his back. Stuck him. He'll get 2 counts there. Looked like he could have stuck him if the referee was on the right side of the body there.
I mean, you see Daly here struggling to kind of maintain some juice as he gets near the end of the period, but I believe he's just doing such a great job of applying that claw, and like we're talking about, it's becoming more and more common for a reason.
That'll be the end of the period. 6-0. Not the end of the period that maybe Ice was thinking that would go at the start of that period.
No, not quite, but Eyes is still a young, developing wrestler, and going against a guy that is ranked as highly as Jake Daly is a 24.
Right there, that replay you just saw, just about half a second he needed to get back on his feet was when that 3 came out. Daly will start on top this time around. And with only 1:49, a 6-point deficit has to look quite farther across than it probably is.
Wrestling at that edge after securing that leg high.
I mean, you can tell some of the technical brain stuff that's going on because he can only hang on for 5 or so seconds before he gets a stall call. You can see him swiping there. So he's just going to sit on the edge of the mat, get 4 swipes in, burn off 4 more seconds of the clock, and then he'll step out and reset to the center. That's really smart wrestling from Daly.
Yeah, and I don't think Eyes realized it because he kind of looked to the referee to ask about that, but again, you got to be pretty smart to get into UNC.
Takedown and a quick shot by Ice. But I mean, if you try and, make him step out yourself, then Ice is looking at a stall call. So tough position there for the Husker.
I mean, at this point, Eyes can afford a stall call. It's just him betting on whether he thinks Eyes can take him down.
They'll call that potentially dangerous. That was probably Eyes' best shot of the match right there. He hadn't quite gotten deeper than that. A minute left. Daly in the driver's seat so far. One of these matchups for UNC where they do have a younger guy, redshirt freshman, and we're hoping to get some points out of him.
I mean, Daly does not wrestle like a freshman, and that's what's been so impressive.
Great counter. That's 3 for Tyler Ice. He'll have to let him up and go for the tie. Crowd's getting into it now. It's a great part about wrestling for the Huskers. You can have this crowd behind you. Potentially dangerous call goes the other way. Now, it's hard enough to wrestle at this level. It gets harder when you have 3,000 or 4,000 fans. All whispering there. Quick shot off the whistle. What a save by Daly to grab the back leg. Ice has got to move here if he wants something. What a counter from Daly. That won him the match right there.
I mean, just incredible instinct from Jake Daly to get that last second. I mean, he was just one leg away from going to sudden victory and putting this at jeopardy for himself.
Jake Daly wins 8-4. He wrestled a pretty good match for the Huskers. I'm expecting a lot of action here. McDaniel, very agile, 197. And on the other side, Robert Platt, number 33 in the country for UNC. He was all-league honors in high school for football and also ran track at his 2 schools, Brawley and Poway of California. Very athletic fella in the sky blue and white.
Yeah, he played O-line and D-line, so he is no stranger to hand fighting.
Got behind McDaniel. Couldn't do anything with it. McDaniel from Circleville, Ohio. He had a statement true freshman year, filled in at 197, went 23-15, ended up 5th at the Big Tens, but countered that with a 8th place at Nationals to earn All-American honors as a true freshman.
I mean, his stats are just kind of eye-popping, and sometimes you forget that he was a freshman last year. He had 5 tech falls and 11 majors to go along with that 23-15 record.
Big raise up here from McDaniel. Ooh, good trip from McDaniel, but great counter from Platt. He'll try and bring him back in again. Another trip, same move, different results. Camden McDaniel gets the takedown.
One thing I'd like to see here is if after a takedown, one of these wrestlers can turn a tight waist into additional points, or if possible, in that referee's position, somebody is able to score out of it tonight.
That was an impressive sequence. He did his move. Platt counters. Oh, well, I'll go right back to the well and see if you're still here. And he was not on that occasion, but he'll let him up, and we'll go back to the Rhino head fighting. And you know, the heavier weights, 197 and heavyweight, they get some flack for, you know, maybe not moving as quick, maybe not, you know, as much action, but it's a lot different when at 125 pounds, an arm of a 125-pounder coming down on your neck than a 197, just dropping anvil after anvil right on the back of your neck. So props to the big guys. You know, it's a common thing that I see, and I think that they're working just as hard, if not more.
I mean, one thing I saw last year, and such a great year for wrestling in total, was a lot of flack for Gable Stevenson, who was not moving as fast, but, you know, he's such a big guy, and it's so hard to move at their size as well. Like, it's so easy to get gassed out when you're exerting all your energy and you have all this weight coming down on you, and especially with the pressure being, imagine getting your shot stuffed and then 197 pounds on the back of your neck.
That's not something that you want to feel. End of the first period, Camden takes a 3-1 lead over Robert Platt into the second period. McDaniel will opt for bottom. Quick stand to his feet. Another return attempt where the Husker really doesn't get off the ground. And there he'll go out of bounds. Platt returns and reverses the riding time that McDaniel had built up. Platt able to get his hands locked again. Nice switch attempt from McDaniel. As he hits the mat, he'll turn into Platt, try to turn it into a reversal, but he'll take the one as they go out of bounds.
What I thought was really interesting there from Platt was his approach to being on top, where he's trying to kind of bump McDaniel and apply the tight waist to try and turn that into a return, but McDaniel just stuck right with him.
So they'll go back to shopping on their feet. Seeing if there's any looks they like. Quick counter attack from McDaniel. Platt will try to roll through. Never want to flatten out as a higher weight, because it's the same laws of I'm no physics major, but I'm sure there's a physics term for that as McDaniel flips him around. A triple off of that original shot.
Like you were saying, it's just science.
It is just science. You know, they weigh more, so it's going to take a lot more power to get up.
What Newton's law is that one? I think it's the third one.
I haven't touched science since high school.
Well, Camden has. He's a biological sciences major, as they're showing up here on the big board.
You know what? I'll ask him after the match. I'll go down and ask.
We'll take a look.
I'll ask McDaniel. riding time back in Camden's favor as we near the end of the second period. No point yet for that. But it'll take a 7-1 lead into the third period. McDaniel showing some All-American class.
You can just tell both these guys are so gassed out already. I mean, it's been a hard-fought match. They've had so many shots stuffed, but McDaniel finally gets it going in that second period. You're kind of looking at him to maybe give up a few here if you're Platt.
So no closer to a riding time point. Oh, he was in the right area, just couldn't find the fingertips to the knee. And that's a position you want to be in. I mean, regardless if you're getting the takedowns, you're showing the ref, hey, I'm working, he's not. You know? Hey, I'm taking shots. I'm there. I'm not grabbing the leg, but I'm there.
Like we spoke about, it takes a little less convincing when you're at these higher weights to prove that you're moving.
Daniel will run him off the edge. Don't think if it does end up being a loss, Platt will hold his head too low for this one. It's a, borderline top 10 opponent in the country. He's, for the most part, held his own. Deep shot from McDaniel.
Not able to get the takedown, as every UNC wrestler so far has shown a lot of promise in their scrambling and being able to secure that ankle or leg or hook the foot a little bit there.
Try to use the legs to his advantage, but the ref doesn't like what he sees there. Wants to stand him back up.
With 30 seconds left, you're kind of looking at Platt to take a few more shots here and just try.
I mean, the major's right there if McDaniel can grab one more. With short time at 197, Platt versus McDaniel. A tight first period like most of the matches so far, led by a second period where the Husker outworks the Tar Heel. Deep shot from McDaniel, the major's right there. There's the takedown. Visible frustration from Platt as he knows the point he just gave up. Camden McDaniel, true freshman, Mikey Calgano.
Yeah, Mikey Calgano, relatively unknown here, but he has a chance to cement his name in wrestling tonight.
See what he can do. He's a two-time prep state champion for Illinois. Also played football. He's pretty agile for a heavyweight. He went trying to counter Ferrari's takedown. There's 3 for Ferrari. Calgano 3-3, his only action being at the Southeast Open and at Carolina Duels, where he took 2 wins over Pembroke and Greensboro. He didn't have his happy trails in the Southeast Open. He did take Lawrence, West Virginia, to the edge. And that tournament. Pretty convincing ride so far from the Ferrari.
He's just keeping that pressure forward. He's bumping on Calgano's arms, not letting him get any sort of space here.
He's looking to ride that bar behind his back. Not much Calgano can do on bottom here. There's the tilt from Ferrari. Gotta be wary of a defensive pin there. Oh, what a story that would be. Getting the swipes now on that attempt.
I mean, with Ferrari, you're just seeing him ride him out, tire him out. This is a freshman, and this is years of experience. A guy with an Olympic red shirt in his back pocket.
And a national championship trophy.
I mean, he's the only ever true freshman to win, or the third ever, excuse me, at OK State to win a national championship.
Although looking at their lineups this year with Sergio Vega and Rob up there at 157, you've got some dogs over there at OK State.
I mean, when Jax Forrest comes in as well.
Jax Forrest as well. Good times in Stillwater. Good times in Lincoln. Ferrari leads 7-1.
One criticism that I've seen of Ferrari as he is a heavyweight this year is the slow movement and his reluctance to, maybe some people think that he should be getting more stall calls based on this, but you got to keep in mind this guy went from 197 to 285. That's 88 pounds to gain.
Deep shot from Calgano, gets the takedown on Ferrari. Big return for Calgano.
Calgano just taking AJ to school here.
With 2 seconds left, no points. One point for Ferrari. He'll get the escape, not the reversal. But I think Calgano caught him sleeping there. Caught him off guard a little bit. Brilliant shot from the Tar Heel. No, it's a locked hands. On top of the escape, 9-4, Ferrari leads.
I mean, when you're a freshman and you can get a shot in for AJ Ferrari, a national champion like that, you take it as soon as you see it.
That's true. Regardless of the outcome, I'm sure he'll be playing that back in the locker room.
If you could frame a video. You see the referees discussing this.
There's the challenge brick from assistant coach Tony Ramos.
Yeah, you were going to see that eventually. It's the right decision to make if you're UNC, especially if you take umbrage with the locked hands there, as he had already secured the takedown.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to challenge that call. I mean, Calgano showed some fight, got back into the match. You know, why add extra points going in the opposite direction if you don't need to?
You can only hope for a speedy review here, as you don't want your guys to get cold and get back out there and have the threat of a stall call.
You can see the reaction on the teammates' faces. Yep, so they will. So they will give the locked hands, but there's no escape, they say. So 8-4, what we thought was going to be the score after the first period is the score after the first period. 8-4, Calgano, he looks excited back there.
He seems rejuvenated knowing that he can get a takedown here on Ferrari.
Momentum is huge in this sport. Trying to find a cradle, but Ferrari notably uncradleable.
I mean, it's just the mass of Ferrari is also so hard to secure. He is such a wide person.
In the kindest way.
Yes, of course.
Reversal there for Ferrari. 10-4.
Even though the score is 10-4, it feels closer than that indicates, really. Calgano is fighting his hardest here.
They will reset at the center. You can say what you want about the score, but no doubt the Tar Heels came into this duel ready to play, ready to scrap. Some the results haven't gone their way so far, but you can't knock their performance. So.
And again, another claw ride, some bumps. Turns it into a chop and just breaks him down to that single arm.
Looks like Ferrari was just kind of testing and tapping to see what would give. Calgano not giving him much, but did find that cross wrist. Wonder if he's going to try and work that tilt.
Wrestling on top is such a fine art that is refined through experience. I mean, it's all about keeping that pressure forward and kind of testing which joints give and which joints don't and what you can secure for yourself.
He's got the riding time plenty secured at this point. Over 2 minutes Ferrari spent on top, which probably tell the more accurate tale of the tape.
I mean, when you're at this weight, riding time is huge because what are you going to do, eat back at it? You're going to try and get as many takedowns as you can. At this point, Calgano would be better getting an escape and trying to go for a few takedowns in the third period.
I imagine he'll want to go just straight stand up and see what he can cook up. No, he'll go bottom. Two minutes on the clock. 2 minutes left for this heavyweight bout. 10-4 Ferrari leads. Dominated for the most part in this match. Calgano showed some spark getting the takedown in the first period.
Again, this is a wrestler that was seldom heard of for UNC and Mikey Calgano, but he showed that he had some chops when he got that takedown on AJ Ferrari.
Yeah, not the starter for UNC. Booked as Nolan Neves. Ranked 28 in the country. Neves escaped Calgano. But he, for whatever reason, he stepped aside tonight and let the freshman go to work.
I mean, UNC has a nice bout coming up against UNI on December 21st, this Sunday. And I'm sure that they're trying to preserve some of their energy there, especially with Keck Eisen in mind.
Yep. It's almost, as they roll out of bounds, stall call for Calgano, it's almost like a Midwestern round robin. They're not in the same building at the same time, but the Huskers have the Panthers of UNI in a couple weeks, a week or two, I don't know. It's after Oklahoma State. They haven't looked that far past the Cowboys, I imagine. Shot by Ferrari. There's the takedown. 14-5 the score. 15-5 on net. And here come the back points. A nice little Turk to finish it off. Can he pin him? There it is. Ferrari downs Calgano. What do you say? You're gonna take me down? How about I put your shoulder roller for the Huskers? Sophomore wrestler getting the bout over. Cale Lordson wrestled really well up at National Duels. Lost 4-3 in a tight one to number 5 Seymour of Lehigh, and then wrestled in there with number 16 McCrone and number 2 Spratley. On the other side of the stripe, Kaysane Turikina, 4-0. Hasn't really wrestled much besides the duels, but it may be load management. He spent last year battling 2 different injuries for Iowa State, which eventually saw him not qualify for nationals.
Yeah, Turikina is a really interesting case. He has been an NCAA qualifier before, but 3 times with the Cyclones. But as a grad transfer for UNC, he's kind of one of those veteran leaders you look towards to try and establish what it's going to look like in the future.
A stopgap, if you will, at UNC, but also give some veteran leadership. Kohler, a tough wrestler. Even though he didn't originally get the starting role, Lordson showed some shakiness, and Kohler stepped up in Nat Duels. Although he went 0-3, I mean, it's hard to blame you when you've got 2 top 5 guys on the docket and then one 16th ranked in the country.
I mean, it's such an interesting case at 125 for Nebraska when you got Kohler and Lauritsen kind of battling for that starting spot. And these kinds of duels are the best time to test it out. I mean, Kohler's got chops of his own as a 2-time Pan Am champ and a 6-time Fargo All-American.
Turakina, the best wrestler. Well, deep takedown attempt from Turakina. He was the best wrestler from Hawaii in his class, Ua Beach, Hawaii, from which he's from. Every time he's qualified for nationals, he's been the only Hawaii native to be competing at the tournament. Great pride for the state of Hawaii, have to imagine.
You know, he's a 4-time high school state champ. He's the 6th ever Hawaiian to ever do it.
That's a pretty good thing to have on your resume.
You go to UNC, you got, you're the #1 high school recruit in 2020. I mean, you were the 6th ever high school state champ to do it 4 times in a row.
It's not too bad.
No.
Quick fakes. Got in there deep, both of them. Maybe saw a throw attempt. Throws uncommon, maybe at 125 pounds, but, you know, never off the table. Deep shot from Turakina off the almost fake fireman's. He's going to look to get that angle behind him. Deep whizzer by Kohler. 10 seconds short time. Sticks him on his back almost. There's the 3 for Turakina. And Kohler will do well to avoid any back points at the end of the first period. 3-0 advantage. There's the challenge brick from Mark Manning.
You kind of wonder what he's calling for there, but again, it's another experienced wrestler taking you down at the bottom of the period.
Yeah, what we saw with Antrell Taylor and Minto, those late stage points, they don't always go red, as Turakina trying to leverage some of his experience. And I think with one of these end of the period calls where, you know, it's not a clear-cut takedown, I don't hate the challenge brick throw from Manning regardless of how the look of it goes. I think maybe they're trying to say Kohler still had a hand on that.
I mean, it just allows you to get your guy a breather and kind of reassess and kind of re-strategize about where you're going with this in this match.
Yeah, the call's confirmed there by the referee, 3-0, and from the lack of energy and the booze, I can assume that the arena feels similar. Caution on Turakina, a little jump start there.
Now this is where things get interesting. If you get an escape and you get back on your feet and cook up a little bit, Kohler's right back in it.
Yeah, by no means decided quite yet. Huge return for Turakina. Kohler will go right back to it.
Get him the swipes.
Looks like they're calling to investigate some blood on Alan Kohler.
Looks like it's on his left shoulder there.
So it isn't Allen's. We figured that out. Good one, Holmes. Oh, it was already there.
Might be a nosebleed?
Yeah, Turakina's.
Yeah.
Turakina's bleeding. Yeah,
Oh,
see,
yeah.
wipe him on the. That's not very sanitary.
No. If you enjoy the sport, I don't think you're too concerned with sanitation.
It's one of the.
I mean, you need blood time.
You know, I will defend that. All of them, after they get off the mat, they wipe themselves down.
Yeah, of course. You shower.
Yep,
You're not
shower,
supposed to stay
down.
dirty.
It's just a very, very, very close quarters sport. I'll give you that.
Look, wrestlers don't like being dirty. It just happens to be a very sweaty sport.
Yeah. Escape Kohler. Honestly, saved him the effort there with the blood time. He got another look at the escape from that almost stalemate position. Kohler. Tight scramble with Terakina. Tries that far ankle, no. Deep, both wrestlers deep in on an underhook.
It's just something Terakina does so well, is his patience on the shots. He is also going for that far ankle like Kohler is, but he's willing to hand fight it out and establish those hooks.
Yeah, Kohler on those counterattacks has just been gunning and shooting them, and Terakina's been a little more patient and having a little bit more foresight in his decision making. Well, that only comes with time.
Again, Terakina's a three-time NCAA qualifier. He knows how to wait his turn, although he hasn't had much success at the tournament or in the Big 12 tournament, matter of fact. It's still something that is experience and that he's taken with him to the Tar Heels.
Not a bad program to spend 4 years at, like the Iowa State Cyclones, currently ranked in the top 5 in the country with that current squad.
I mean, they've just had an unbelievable season after winning the Cy-Hawk for the first time in what feels like forever.
End of the second period. Kohler gets his escape, but nothing more. 3-1 Terakina, as Kaysen will decide to take bottom. Kohler doesn't want to play. They'll go right back to their feet. A takedown is needed. I've seen a couple eye pokes today on both sides from Husker wrestlers and from Tar Heel wrestlers.
Contacts beware.
Haven't seen any fallout yet, so.
Not yet.
I don't think I'd be able to find a contact on that big white N in the middle there. I think it would disappear. A couple half shots from Kohler this period, all that's the difference.
One thing that I always notice veteran wrestlers do is post up on the head. It's almost a mental game with them where
they'll post up, but they won't leave it there for long, and if they come with the club, they'll bring it back real quickly.
It's almost a touch and go.
Terakina kind of walking Allen down. He'll get the stall call.
Crowd not loving that call. I believe it's the right one.
You can see the blood on Terakina's chin strap. Maybe his mouth that is bleeding. I can't quite tell.
1 minute remaining in the third period.
1 minute to go. Great duck there by Terakina, but it doesn't amount to much. Now's when the engines start to get going.
One thing you see Kohler trying to do is turn that hook and to snap Terakina down, but nothing is materializing for him.
I mean, Kohler's got to go take one if he wants it. Shot by Terakina. On the edge of the mat, they'll roll out of bounds.
The sophomore Kohler's really got to step it up here if he wants to get that possible sudden victory scenario in this last 30 seconds.
Another half shot from Kohler. 20 seconds. Short time. Terakina leveraging the head there. He's got control and the underhook. Looks like it'll just creep over the finish line. 4-1. Kaysen Terakina takes down Allen Kohler to grab 3 more points for the white and light blue.
And that's exactly what Terakina was working towards the entire match with the
Oakley also ended up at the qualifications three-time NCAA qualifier, but he left 1 and 2 last year from nationals. But they lock horns again.
Yeah, in Oakley's first year as a Tar Heel, he was also third in the ACC at 133. So he's used to that conference now. He's fully settled in, and it seems as though he's very comfortable taking on these highly ranked guys.
Oakley, a similar story to Caleb Smith for the Huskers last year. Spent a couple years in the SoCon Conference, picked up a couple SoCon championships and a couple qualifications before moving on. He's in the mid-90s for wins, so he'll be hunting for his 100th here soon. It's not on the table today, but a win against Van D would put him in the right direction.
Again, there's a couple hundred club approachers here in the building. Oakley is one of them, but Brock Hardy also looking for his 100th win here within this season, of course. But yeah, with 95 and 44 career wins, Ethan Oakley has quite an impressive resume.
Van D and Oakley kind of feeling themselves out. They had a high-scoring bout last year, like I said, 10-9. Shot there by Van D, gets the leg. Great counter from Oakley. Van D had his head right next to the other leg. He just didn't see it, kind of in his blind spot. Oh, that's a tough-looking angle for his arm. I don't think he'll care because it's not jiu-jitsu. Van D gets the 3 takedown.
I mean, that was very dangerous for Van D.
I mean, it looked like an armbar attempt, if I'm being honest. Van D's going to try and work that bar.
Where's Daniel Cormier when you need him?
Not a bad bar shout from Van D. He's got it in there. Maybe not as tight as he'd like it, and there it comes out.
Van D just keeping that pressure forward. You know, that arm bar was pretty huge for him as he continues to try and secure those wrists, make his pinkies point out.
Collecting riding time for Van D. He's got that Sun Devil down low on the legs while he rides further up with his arms. Sun Devil, if done right, pretty effective.
It's just such a beautiful way to wrestle. The Sun Devil is so hard to perfect, and Van D just executes it so well here.
Back to the bar attempt. Looks like he's gonna grind down Ethan Oakley. Dream first period for Jacob Van D, a takedown right out. And I guess if we're talking this duel about freshmen versus seniors, we look last year, that matchup was the same stuff. Van D, a sophomore, taking on a senior. I guess it's only 2 years difference between them, but still the experience gap. Granby attempt from Oakley countered very shakily by Van D. He almost got out there, but he'll remain on top.
And Van D's leg ride has been the key here so far, as he's been able to secure Oakley down in that position on bottom.
Every second Van D can spend on top is going to make it that much easier in the third period to retain that riding time point as he nears 2 minutes. As he starts to work in on that leg.
And what a stark difference from their previous match last year where, like you said, it was a high-scoring match.
Van D receives a stall call on top. Manning doesn't like it, neither does the crowd, but we'll go back to his feet. Van D says, fine, you'll stall call me, I'll just go back to my feet. Shot attempt by Van D, countered. I mean, it's a testament to the growth of Van D over the last calendar year, obviously earning All-American honors. But even he seemed to be so streaky at at times last year, you know, he would get a couple wins on the bounce and he'd be wrestling amazing. He'd get a couple losses on the bounce and he looks like a completely different wrestler. He's done well to manage the start of the season. He's 7-1. Only loss was when he was winning and ended up getting pinned at the Navy Classic. So a much different Van D from last year.
Van D gets the near waterfall, but is not able to turn it into anything quite yet because of that, you know, follow through from Oakley. And like you said, yeah, Van D was just streaky last year. And it kind of speaks to the mentality that comes with, you know, coupling wins and losses and how that needs to change for this now All-American.
We'll begin period number 3. Van D has a 2-point lead. You know, Van D's looked more dominant. He's got 2 minutes of riding time, but this match is far from over. It's still a 1 takedown bout. Especially if Oakley can grab some back points off the legs.
You know, that's something that Oakley did so well in his matchup against Gunnar Andrick of West Virginia, where he was so patient, and he didn't really win it until that third period, where he was able to score those points, where he won 4-2.
Could be some late game mastery from Ethan Oakley that would definitely see him close to the top 10.
Seems like this crowd really wants a stall call here, but they're moving.
There's the stalemate. And we said in the second period that that building up of riding time was going to do much for Van D. He's still got the riding time point after all of that. So he's got 12 seconds to see if he can retain that point advantage.
Is going to be all about whether he can get an escape here and fend off Oakley from eating away at what he has left of his ride time.
Optional start from Oakley makes that a pretty clear-cut, dry decision. So now the pressure's on Oakley. He's got to go now. Down essentially 5-1. He needs 2 takedowns. Second time in a row they've shot at the same time. This time Oakley's got some leverage.
Oakley trying to get that hook to turn into a crossface.
They'll stall out of that position. Van D can see the sweet, sweet revenge. 25 seconds to go.
And he still does have that ride time, so he does need those 2 takedowns desperately in the last 15 seconds.
Well, looks like the late match action is not going to come. Van D will guide himself into a 5-1 victory over Ethan Oakley as he gets his get back from last season and moves to 8-1 on the year.
Van D just
Riccardi in his 2 losses. Brock Hardy also with 2 losses, but those being the number 1 and number 2 wrestlers in the country. And 1 to Mendez 4-1. It's maybe that early season jitters that they are trying to get out of Brock.
I mean, you're looking at your final year with Brock Hardy here. If you're Mark Manning, you're looking to get everything you possibly can for him. As he stated in interviews that he wants that national championship more than anything for himself.
Nearly 3 from Simcox. Hardy able to wrestle through and potentially turn this around for his gain. If he can sneak out the back door. Ooh. They call potentially dangerous on the arm there. Brock Hardy looked destined to get into the backyard and take 3.
At times, I feel as though reputation should precede a wrestler like Brock Hardy, where you've seen him in worse positions, and those kind of potentially dangerous calls don't apply to a guy like him.
Ah, well. The one time you don't call it is the one time something bad goes happen. UNC's challenging the no takedown call, I think, as he got pretty close to behind there, but I don't know, that's a close call. It seems like Brock's already on his feet.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. Not exactly everything that should constitute a takedown, but he definitely has somewhat of an argument.
Definitely why Coach Cole. It's upheld. Not a bad start from Simcox here. Actually, probably exactly what Coach Cole wants to see, taking it right to Brock Hardy and wrestling through those positions. Almost getting a takedown there for the Tar Heels. Of course, with 2 matches left, 24-6 being the dual score, the dual result is signed, sealed, and delivered. But still an interesting bout. Here, Brock Hardy won against Army that left his scoring in his matches against Braden Basile till late. Ended up in a big result for Brock.
Yeah, Brock is such an interesting case over the entirety of his career. I mean, he's a 96-26 in his career. If he's able to win this match, he's a 97, 3 away from 100. And the 25-year-old has big expectations for his season, but when you got these young guys like Luke Simcox, who have so much to prove, he's number 19 and he's a redshirt freshman. He has plenty to wrestle for here to prove that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with at 141. Or 149, excuse me, 141.
Wherever he ends up, he's got some room to grow still. Brock counters that shot. Simcox was slow to his feet. He'll bring it up. Brilliant ankle trip straight to the back from Brock Hardy. And he's just walking him down now, trying to get the back points. Ripping that Turk. Like I said, the late points. I'll tell you what, that is not a fun position to be in for Luke Simcox.
Have fun at the chiropractor.
And I mean, on those trips, you see sometimes wrestlers getting, you know, mid shin, maybe up to the knee. That was heel to heel, and how he managed to control that was quite well done. 3-0, Brock Hardy leads going into the second period. He'll take down. Here's that trip again. Feels it out and just clips the back of the heel.
And his calm demeanor here. He's got security, trips up the heel. He's got him down and just keeps walking him down that heel to heel.
Escape for Hardy.
Just posting up on that head.
Deep shot from Hardy. Trying to run it around on his head. Come through the back, high center.
This seems to be a position a lot of the Tar Heel wrestlers have found themselves in with Nebraska, and that near waterfall.
But they'll reset. 1 minute to go in the second period. 4-0, Hardy leads. 24-6, the team score. Seems like both wrestlers have settled in after the craziness of the first period. Shuck attempt by Hardy. Tried to go behind. One of the highest percentage moves in all of wrestling. At least that's what my coach said.
I think the highest percentage moves, if you're going to go by sheer amount of them done, it's always the collar tie.
Is it the amount of scoring moves that get finished, though?
Scoring moves that get finished.
Yeah, go behind. As we take the second period into conclusion, 4-0 still the score.
If you're going to say scoring moves that get finished,
It's go behind.
it's going to go way down. Think about all the insane moves that have never been finished.
He'll sneak into that little leg ride, Brock. No stranger.
I mean, he's just applying such great pressure on top and securing that tight waist for the return.
Great return there from Hardy. Hardy, one of those wrestlers that has so much technical expertise in all three levels of his game. So if a wrestler comes in with a lot of heart, they still have three other locations of the mat, top, bottom, and neutral, where they have to try and outwork Hardy. And for many wrestlers in the country, that is a task seemingly impossible.
I mean, I think that's what made that Nebraska team last year so dangerous, where you get to that 141 through 157 weights. I mean, you've got Brock Hardy, Ridge Lovett, and Antrell Taylor, and all of them are so developed at all three levels of their game.
Of course, the banners were raised last time here in the Bob. Lovett and Antrell Taylor getting their banners for being NCAA champion in honor. Brock Hardy hopes to earn and put his own banner up there right next to the three of them. He was very close last year as well.
I mean, speak about future matchups. Brock Hardy with the possibility of facing off against Jesse Mendez once again. And Ohio State really rolling this year.
15 seconds remaining. Late Granby attempt from Simcox, but it's a day late and $1 short. Clock winds down. Brock Hardy takes a 5-0 decision. Probably more dominant than the score wants to say. But he takes 3 more points for the Cornhusker.
His career, but he's 0-3 this year. Big opportunity for him to get his first win of the year.
So some inexperienced experience at 149 pounds to finish off the duel.
Askey's got a good amount of experience before college, as he is a 2024 U17 USA World Team member. I mean, that's a pretty high honor for any sort of high schooler.
Definitely one of the core pieces of Rob Cole's vision for the Tar Heels going forward, wrestling as a true freshman. Robertson, an Omaha native, also went to Millard South along with Antrell Taylor.
I mean, in Nebraska, a lot of talent comes from Omaha, and there's just a well of it. I mean, on this Nebraska roster alone, you have Cale Lauritsen, Antrell Taylor, Scott Robertson. I mean, and the list just goes on and on.
Kate Ziola from Scott Cushing. Cushing on the bench as well. But Nebraska does such a great job of retaining the talent that the state produces. Besides maybe the occasional Garrett Grice, who goes off to do his things elsewhere.
Can't keep them all.
Can't keep them all, but Nebraska's done well to keep a couple good ones around, like Scott Robertson, looking for his first win of the season here.
Kind of also speaks to the recruiting footprint that the Tar Heels have in the South, with Askew being from Sewanee, Georgia. And how many of their guys are either from the South or Midwest? I mean, they're a coast-to-coast team, as they're a big national brand, and that's a great recruiting tool that they've got.
North Carolina recruiting all over the country. A couple guys from Pennsylvania, a couple guys from California, a couple guys from the South, North Carolina and Georgia.
I mean, very nearly Nebraska's A.J. Ferrari.
Very nearly. Whole lot of feeling each other out, seeing what's working, what's not. Some underhook action from Askew and Robertson.
I mean, the hooks here are just setting up a potential shot near the end of the period. Nobody seemed to go for one quite yet.
Period will end with 2 zeros on the board. Looks like a soccer score.
I think that's a lot of wrestling, especially when you get to those higher weight classes where it's 2 battleships facing off against one another.
Kind of circling the same waters, firing some shots here and there. Why isn't there a school with a battleship as their
Navy.
That doesn't count.
The Navy counts as a battleship.
Well, they're the midshipmen. They're the guys on the ships.
They could have the ship be the thing, the mascot.
Robertson on his feet. He'll able to cut away for his escape point. Advantage, Scott Robertson. Askew starting to come alive a little bit. Hasn't really been able to get under Robertson. He's done a lot of work with over-unders and that front head that he's in now, but he hasn't really been able to get under the level of Robertson's head.
No, and these are 2 relatively inexperienced collegiate wrestlers, so they're still figuring out exactly what it's going to look like for them. I mean, Askew, from what I've seen on tape, he is a quick, twitchy wrestler, but he is really taking his time here with Robertson.
Deep shot there from Askew, first of the match. And he'll just slip through his fingertips as the hourglass turns over to less than a minute left. First deep shot from really either wrestler. It was well worked as well. Askew got to his shot.
Goes for that double tie there. Possibly trying to set up that shot.
Shot from Robertson, stuffed by Askew's sprawl. Short time here in the second period. Nothing going for either wrestler on their feet. 1-0, the score after 2. Askew will go bottom to counter, try and get an escape to tie this one up.
Almost no riding time secured here, so whoever scores a takedown first might be the winner.
That's looking how it's shaping up. Unless Robertson can make some magic happen on top. Here's Askew back to the floor again. He's gonna try some leg riding. And he will retain possession. as they circle out of bounds, and he'll step that toe. So interesting position here for Robertson. He's got 23 seconds down, or into his time. He took down the 11 seconds that Askew had accrued.
If you're Mark Manning, what do you tell Robertson to let happen here?
As you can see from Mark Manning's reaction there, I think he wanted to go for the riding time point, but Robertson opts to go for his feet.
I mean, this has just been an extraordinary hand-fighting matchup between these two.
Shot stuffed by Askew. Golden takedown is the rule now. Again, sitting on top of that head is Askew. And again, they'll be called stalemate. The only other thing that can interfere with this takedown bout is some stall calls, but I don't think either one will get one at this rate. Double shot there, deep shot from Askew. Sits through into the back. Great splits there from Robertson. He's got 25 seconds. Nervous onlookers. Great splits there. Tough battle here. Can he defend for 6 more seconds? Tremendous defense. The walls built by Robertson, and he gets to sudden victory overtime. Now the crowd's into it. That was a brilliant sequence.
Amazing defense by Scott Robertson, the winless wrestler this year, has a chance to seal it for his first of the season.
Crowd's into it now. They've got an extra period.
It's free wrestling.
Whoa! Chasing him down is Robertson. Deep shot from Askew. There it is. Nate Askew gets it done. 4-1. Silences the crowd. He takes the match. 3 points for the sudden victory win.